Uh, that was a bit of a hassle to set things up. Um, for anyone that is watching this in the future, uh, I'm going to spend a minute or so getting some other things ready. And, well, I guess if you want to stay here while I do that, just enjoy the nice view of the claw fighting Doko. But in the description or the timeline bar, I will put up markers to when to skip to skip all this intro stuff of nothing happening, just for anyone watching in the future. Or I guess you can just skip to when you see me actually working. Okay, let me bring this here. Alright, I should be almost ready. Okay, and let me just check this. Okay, turn that off. Okay, Edward, I am talking. Please let me hear what... Oh, well, that is not the best sound quality, but I'm not really sure how to get the sound quality to be better. Either way, this is just for people wanting to see the creation process. The audio isn't the most important part, although it is pretty important. But we will. Let us... Okay, center, there we go. Alright, now let's see here. Top, live. Live, okay. Okay. Now to get to work, where did I... Oh, here it is. Yeah, I'm going to be working on page 80 of my latest comic of Heroes and Legends. And let me see... Okay, I think that'll do. Yeah, I've not done the most live video stuff before, but I have done a few of them. And I have not gotten as much stuff done on the comic as I've wanted to lately. This is going to be a very awkward setup, because what I did is I have the device that's recording. I have my grandma's old purse strung around my neck, and I put the device in the purse, so I'm not sure how it's going to go, but this is the best way I could figure to get a good look at things while I work. But anyhow, we're going to get started. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to... wait. The first thing I need to do... Oh no. Okay, let me see if I have... Okay, I have plenty of paper in the back of this sketchbook to work with. Okay. So let's take this. Alright. Alright. Okay. Yeah, I think this will work. Yeah, whenever you do painting in, like, sketchbooks and stuff, whenever I do them, because, the paper of these sketchbooks is not like, there's going to be liquid that seeps through onto the page beneath it. So I always take a bunch of loose leaf paper and put it underneath the page here. Okay, there we go. Alright, and now we can put the water down that I was going to put down behind the claw here. Yeah, this is what I always do when I do the sky when it's in color. When it's just graphite, I do, like, cartoony clouds and stuff, but usually when I do it in color, it is a more bleeding process of the paint across the paper. Basically, you want to get the liquid on the area that you want the color on, and where the liquid is not is going to be where the clouds are, since that will not have any color initially that goes onto it. And throughout the tournament here, the sky has been changing color behind the claw and Doko's match. So, I don't want it completely blue yet, because it was nighttime. And it's been turning into dawn. So, maybe some of this. Yeah, don't want it as dark of purple as it had been previously. Good thing about the live streaming is you can see more clearly in your face if there is people watching or not. And yeah, all you do is you dab down the color, and it'll bleed across the areas that you got wet. There we go. Okay. Just get this all down. Don't want too much color around where the claw is in the scene. Kinda trail it along the speed line areas and stuff. And as this dries, we will just get some more water. Actually, let me get some paper here to soak up water on the paintbrush. There we go. And then, as this is drying, you don't want to wait, or usually I don't wait until it's like fully dried before you do this, where you get it a bit wet and you pull the color in more. It gives it more of a blended effect along the cloud area and the sky area. Makes it look a bit more natural instead of having it be just white that it, like, is an absence of color in. Alright. Yeah, just drag some of the faint color along there. No idea if anyone can hear the music that's playing with how the audio was recording on this when I checked the video. Uh-oh. Oh, well, that is a... No, that's not what I wanted. No. No, stop, stop, stop. There, stop. Okay. Okay, Edward, are you able to be heard on the video there? Okay, you can faintly hear my voice. Hopefully it's not too obscured. I'm not really sure how to get this sounding any better with how this is set up here. If I were a professional, I'm sure I'd have a better setup for all of this. Let's see. Go over here. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to have Torvus Bog from Metroid Prime 2 playing in the background. Okay. We got the sky there. That gives a nice, vibrant scene to start things off with. And I guess what I want to do, usually when I do colors, I try to get all the colors that are the same between the panels done, like, at one time. So, what do we want to do? That's a big panel. Maybe put down the brown. It's, as the panels of the arena have been getting destroyed, it's been revealing more of the under area where, like, there's dirt and stuff underneath the arena floor. Yeah, whenever you have, like, there's all these speed lines here, you want to keep it light color-wise so that the speed lines are still able to be seen so they don't blend in too much with the darker color. Anytime you put down too much color or put down a really dark color, the line work sort of gets lost in the midst of it if you're, like, inking it. If it's just a full color scene, then that's fine then, but that would be way too much work for these comic pages. Let's just put down some nice light brown. Get the dirt there. There we go. Not too bad. Okay, no dirt. There's dirt. Okay. Let's get this. Dab some more color onto the paintbrush. Yeah, with how this holding of the recording device is set up, it's a bit awkward having, like, this whole thing, like, everything is supported by my neck right now. If I move my head at all, it's turning the camera. And it is a bit choke-worthy. It's like, kind of weighing down the back of my neck, like, sort of forcing me to crouch over a bit, just supporting all the weight with my neck. But it's not the most unpleasant thing in the world, and it allows me to actually record working on the physical part of the comic page, which I don't feel the audience sees enough of. Like, obviously, my videos are not, like, the most viewed thing on YouTube, but for the people that want that behind-the-scenes look at the comics, feels like they should be given a bit more in the way of, like, the actual physical process of the comic making. Now, I don't really need to worry about, like, letting the color get into, like, the pant leg area or the shoe area of the claw here, because he just has completely black clothing. That is, like, the completely black stuff is, like, it doesn't matter what you get in there, because it's just gonna be covered up by black in the end anyway. But for the areas that are, like, white, you can't afford to really get those areas all splotched up with color or anything. Yeah, I was, this time yesterday, I think I was working on, that Resident Evil painting that I was doing. It's on DeviantArt, for those that haven't seen that. And I figured I saw the date. It was like, the 24th of September, which, if anyone that knows Resident Evil, that is the day the Raccoon City incident started. 25 years ago, so I figured I should probably make something for it, which is why I made that picture. I do have it here, but I'd have to get up to get that, and that would completely destroy the whole setup I have to just move around with all this strung up on my throat and neck while I work. Yeah, we don't want the camera falling or anything. But right now, we're just working on the comic, page 80. A physical comic showing. If anyone is here, how are you all doing? I've just been getting ready to do this today. Yeah, this is well, as this goes on, it'll become more apparent. This is a very violent page compared to others, because the claw's up here, he slashes a bunch, and he gets part of Doko's hair, he slashes down there and gets a chunk of the ground, and then he gets this small bit along Doko's arm here, and he lands, and you can see a tiny bit of blood is dripping off of his claw. Doko spins around, points his hand at the claw, but then trembles, and just an enormous amount of blood rockets out of his arm. Very painful. But that's what you gotta expect with these types of fights. Well, let's get this centered. The hardest thing here is just keeping everything centered and on screen while I do all this. This is assuming anyone can even hear me. From what I heard in the video when I looked at it, it's very hard to hear my voice in this one. But as long as the screen is getting the comic making, that's the more important thing. Then we can include the video as like a sped up speed paint or something as part of bonus features in some DVD or Blu-ray someday. The making of Dreamscape. Yeah, I got all these, this page has a lot of, like, giant words on it that have to, like, paint around. You don't want it getting too much into things. Obviously, I can edit things afterwards on the computer, but it's nice to not have, like, everything, all sloppy, so I don't have to do as much editing on the computer. It's, the computer editing process, part of the amount of time it takes up is determined by how much I mess up during the page making. Oh, hi, Mom. How are you doing? Yeah. Well, I hope whatever videos you saw before are not the worst when it comes to the audio. The streams are usually better than the actual, like, video section videos of the, YouTube stuff. Yeah, just working on the comic here. And Doko is in a lot of pain. Oh, well, I am happy to be entertaining the people in Oregon. Yeah, this is getting to the end of the tournament fights here. I need to get to work on, like, the rest of the pages, because this is the last one I had penciled out. And I've been meaning to get to work on more of the, like, sketches for the comic, but things have been getting in the way, like commissions and all that stuff. I'm gonna have to work on actual comic pages, like sketching them out for the next pages, though. And this is the last one that's, like, actually made. Alright, so we are done with all the dirt, I think. Oh, no, there's still some more here. Okay, let's get this. Don't want it too dark, otherwise the speed lines are going to get lost in the color. I can't wait. I can't wait to work on the remake of the first comic, because normally these comics are done in black and white mostly. But with the remake of the first one, that's going to be like an entire comic entirely in color as like a special start to the series. And let's soak up a bit of that color. We don't want it too dark there. So there are speed lines that need to be able to be seen here. Yeah, yesterday, once I realized the anniversary of the Raccoon City incident, I sat down and, like, spent a few hours just making that Resident Evil picture for it. It seems to be getting a lot of favorites. Not as many views as other pieces, but a lot of people seem to be loving it. Okay, now I think we have the dirt done. So, here we go. Let's probably get to work on maybe the skin color here. Yeah, I guess the skin color. With this, it's been a bit hard to, like, keep track of how to do the skin color, because Claw Kid and Doko have both, like, busted each other up pretty good, so they're, like, bruised up and everything. And for the bruises, what I do is I, like, dab in a bit of red for, like, the discoloring part of it. But here, Claw Kid's just swiping his claws, so we just wanna, yeah, put in all this here. There we go. Yeah, it's a good thing this, carrying the camera on my neck is not heavier, otherwise I'd probably be choking on this. Okay, and let's, I guess I'll put in a tiny bit of red here. That might be a bit too much. Let's water it up. Water. And let's maybe dab a tiny bit. Oh, Mom. Oh, wait. I was going to say that I went to the sandwich place you always talk about, but that you heard about that already. Okay, and Doko here, he's just looking up in the air in awe as the claw soars over him. The claw kid is kind of swiping too fast for Doko to really realize what's going on in the seconds that are passing. And it's when he drops to the ground here, that's when Doko realizes, like, fully that the moves that have been made. Okay, so let me see. It seems alright for the color. Let's put this in here. Yeah, because Doko, he has, like, a big sort of bruise on his cheek on this side. So I'll need to leave this a bit wet. There's gonna be some blood coming off of his arm there. But the blood will be, the blood is like a more solid red. It won't matter as much if I, like, color beneath it, because that red is just going to cover it up with how dark the red is gonna be for that. But for the bruise, I want the, let's see, like that? Okay. Yeah, that'll probably do. Yeah, they've just battered each other to pieces by this point. Claw Kid's not all that, like, put off by anything. He's kind of used to pain with what all he's been through, so this isn't just another fight to him, but it is one that he is prepared for and prepared to suffer through. Yeah, he is someone that fought in the wars that destroyed our societies and our time period. Okay, here we go. So how is everybody today? I am doing all right. After doing the painting process, it takes a few hours to do the editing process before I do the, like, blackening of the dark areas. Bobo. And then before it dries, let's get in some red there. That's good. That's good. Oh, right, there's blood coming off of his claw there. Bobo. Okay, no skin showing for Doko there. Here, however, it's turning around. Yeah, the progress being made on the page is a bit quicker feeling, it feels like to me, than on the digital editing portion, because when I'm doing the digital editing part, it's always like there's a constant sort of distraction with the computer screen that I'm working on, because I'll have other tabs open to, like, see things on the internet as I'm working. Whereas here, I'm just always constantly moving, because you can't afford to let the water dry too much when you're working with watercolor. Alright. Got the bruise in there. Okay. That should be good. Then there's a trail of blood along the mouth. Okay, that's the claw's arm. So we will need the skin color in that segment. Alright. There we go. Yeah, it's just a very diluted orange that I use for the skin color for these characters. It typically gets you what would be considered like a lighter skinned person's skin color when it dries. Technically, there's like no real nationality to these people, because Claw Kid is not from Earth, and Doko does not exist in our time period. There is no Americans or Chinese or anyone of our nationalities left by that point. Well, technically there is, but that's stuff it won't really be relevant later, but if you know things about certain characters, you can put it together in your head how they relate to something from our time period. Yeah, I never went into these comics really, or went into this world that I've worked on forever, really thinking of, like, real world stuff, really. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, the only skin that Doko shows is his face, because literally everything else is covered up by his suit. Even the throat area is blue. His suit is blue and black. The actual, like, this part here, the vest, is the only actual, like, clothing that's like normal clothing. The rest of the outfit, his undersuit, is it acts more like a second skin, kind of, because if it gets cut, his suit will heal over time. Like, you do not stitch it back up. The undersuit just, it, like, seals back up if it's left undamaged for long enough. But with how much Doko's going through here, there actually is damage that's been done to the undersuit. And it's, that slice along the arm that the claw did there. Yeah, this fight is the most pain, I think, that Doko has been through in the comics so far. I'm fairly certain it is. The fight against the King of the Gorgoks was pretty rough, but Doko came out of that with, like, he still beat him and was, like, walking around fine and stuff. Okay. Alright. Now let's see. I should probably wetten it a bit to blend it. Yeah, that'll do. And then this just very pained, agonizing face here. This is the most, probably the most, alarmed-looking expression that Doko has ever had in the comics so far. And it's like 10+ years of being made. Probably not the most painful expression there will be, but this is one of the big ones so far. And it's hard keeping the camera, like, the sketchbook in the view of the camera, because, like, what I'm painting down here, I cannot see right now. I'm looking through the camera to look at it. Okay, and because of that, I will move it, because that is sort of messing it up. I do not want to... I want to get things recorded, but I don't want to mess this up for obvious reasons. The cool thing about doing the live streaming kind of video here is that when people put comments on the video, like in the chat, they just pop up on my screen here, which they do not do when I'm doing it on the computer. If I had it on a tripod, that would kinda mess it up, because I'd have to stand this up, and then the color would be, like, trailing down the page from that. Now, I've got it kinda working here. It's always sort of just an experimental process to find what is the best way to do something with this stuff. Okay, that is a lot of orange. Let's... There we go. And there we go. Okay, that should be good. Do I have... I think I have all the skin color areas colored. Okay. Yeah. It's so hard getting... Okay, there. I think that's centered. So that's all colored. Need Doku's goggles colored. There's his foot. We need the tournament arena floor panels colored still. What I do for that... Do I have enough yellow here? Yeah, I probably do. Yeah, I can usually make colors in the watercolor sets last for a while. So what I do for the panels is I start with brown, but then I put yellow over it, and then for a finishing touch, I put white over all of that, and that blends it all together into a nice golden cream kind of color. You know, when I was originally working on the comic pages in, what was it? I think it was Waning Warriors is when it was first shown in color for the arena. Before that, I had just been coloring it black and white, obviously. But, once I got to the colored part, I ended up making the, arena floor. I would make it the same color as the stone walls that you see these bricks back here. I'd make those the same color, like, for this, yellow-brown. But to differentiate it, I would put white into the floor panels to just make it read a bit better if it ever got in, like, view of the background where it shows the bricks. And then after that, I think it's Veltzer von Vangel is the same color as the bricks, just it is the trailings of that color. After I've done the bricks, I take the color off the bricks for him and put it onto him. And then Decker has the floor panel color. I take that off of the floor panels once I've colored those and just do that lightly for his skin. Okay, let's get these. Alright. And then we will take the white And when I put the white down here, at first it looks like it's going to be like extremely white, but as it like dries, it dries into a more suitable color. I don't know if the microphone on this can pick it up with how I have things positioned, but I do have music playing here in the background. It is Torvus Bog from Metroid Prime 2. Alright, let's get all these panels down here. It's one of the things that's taken longer to do on these latest comic pages is, about 3 or 4 pages ago, Doko, like, blasted the entire arena, and it just broke apart all the floor panels, so having to do all these broken up tiles and everything has been probably one of the longer things to keep the comic from being made as quickly. But I'm still trying to get it done as often as possible. Would be nice to get this done in the next few months, but I do not see that happening at this rate. Cannot believe we're on page 80 at this point. It's kind of ridiculous to me. But if it's what the story calls for, that's what I will do. And I keep debating upon putting even more scenes into it to make it feel more complete, or to just wrap it up as quick as possible. Generally, I do not go with the as quick as possible option, because that does make it feel less complete, but it already feels pretty complete as is with how it's going, so we'll see what all gets put in here and what all does not. For right now, it is getting towards the end of the match at this point. They've pretty much destroyed the arena, and Doko is suffering quite a bit of pain. But such are the trials of a hero. Okay, and back here. Okay. Yeah, growing up, I would always watch the 20-second Tenkaichi Budokai on the Dragon Ball tapes we had, and the manga we had both the 21st and 22nd Budokais. Oh, we have somebody else watching the video now. How are you doing? I hope you are having a good day, whomever you are. Oh, right. There's a tile right down there in the front that I missed. Okay, let's get the brown again. Yeah, Dragon Ball was the first big thing that I saw tournaments in, but I think Kinnikuman had tournaments before that. That's what was called Muscle Men in America. And then later, the sequel series was Ultimate Muscle in America. A lot of times things get really too serious feeling, it feels like to me, with modern tournament stuff. It gets kind of boring. It's not as wacky of designs, not just as much fun as like an 80s anime tournament tends to be. Unless you're going with like a sports anime tournament, then it is just, oh, we're going to do a serious sports thing. Which can work for that genre. It's a bit different than like a fighting tournament, though. Yeah, I'd had this whole tournament planned out for quite a bit. It's a number of years. It's just finally we've gotten to it. I may have made a bit of an error putting the brown back down there, but I'm trying to get it looking right, and I got too much white on it earlier. Okay, I think that'll do for that. Okay. Let's just do... Don't want it too colored for this section. There we go. Because don't want to get in the way of the speed lines there. Okay, and now we'll get the other tiles, color them in correctly. I would like to do more of these live streaming ones, videos, but it is always a bit of a hassle to figure out how to set things up to record the, drawing / painting process and have it be, be comfortable on me while I'm working. Kinda just came up with this little setup I have doing this video, just the last couple of hours. Okay, so... that tile's there. That may be a bit too white. We need to... That should be better. There we go. And then Doko's fingers are gonna be blue. Yeah, I never... The reason that I made Doko the colors that I made him is that I gave him black hair, because I'd never had a hero that had black hair before in my stuff. And then I made him blue, because I'd never really... I'd done characters with blue color, but not as, the main... That's the primary thing of them. But blue was also my favorite color growing up, is part of why I did that for him. And red was my brother's. Damn. And yet, for some reason, my brother got the blue version of Pokemon, and I got the red version. I'm not sure why, but he, got blue and silver, I got red and gold, and I don't know why I wanted red. But I loved it, so... Named Charizard Red Char. Yeah. Charizard was Red Char, and my first Chow in the Chow Gardens in Sonic Adventure 2 was Hitum, which is still on a memory card somewhere. Okay, since we're right here, we might as well get the other tiles right in this panel before we do much more. Okay, okay. Gotta hurry. Don't want it to all, dry up or anything before I put the yellow down. Ugh. Hopefully this, yeah, I think this will be okay. Okay, there we go, there we go. And now, act fast. Dry the brush. Get the color. Please get the color as quick as possible. And go back to the areas that are drying. You gotta prioritize the drying up areas first. Ding, ding. Whew, okay. I think that'll do for those. Yeah, I might look back over my old Resident Evil story videos today, since it is the anniversary of the Raccoon City incident. I tried to get as much information as I could into that, but with how some things have been translated for that series over the years, I'm pretty sure I got 1 or 2 things messed up in there. But I know it's more accurate than most Americans would get it. Alright. White. White, white, white. There we go. And if you run out of light, you just hop right back over and dab it in the color again. If anyone comes down to Ohio ever, be sure to stop by, I think it's Carl's Deli on Observatory Road in Cincinnati. Yeah, they have some nice sandwiches there. Okay, I dragged color onto this. That is, oh. I guess it wasn't fully dried here yet. Oh well. That's what you have the computer for. We are not stuck in the 60s, so I don't have to rely on whiting things out or anything. Alright, since we have the... Actually, better not do the bricks back here. It might still be wet for the tiles on the floor beneath it. Okay, so... There? I think that'll do. Okay, I think I'll do Doko's... Yeah, I should do Doko's outfit here. So what I do for the coloring for his outfit, I don't do this all the time, but throughout the tournament I've been doing this where I put down purple first and then put blue over it to, like... It's probably not that, like, important, but I like to think that it gives a sort of shaded effect. And I do like mixing the colors whenever I do the coloring. So, we'll do that. And then we get the blue. Here we go. Blue. Mr. Blue Sky. Alright. And then a little down here at his throat. Oh. And, of course, did not have things in view of the camera. Yeah. I keep thinking that I'm going to, like, crease the page by accidentally folding it over underneath the purse that I am using to hold the camera with. Alright. And since Doko's vest is black, it doesn't really matter if I get the color into this area, because I'm just gonna cover that up with black on the computer. I should probably get his leg up here, because, yeah, it would be showing some of the blue. It's at his knee that the black comes in. Alright. And then blue back here behind the claw. Okay. Not too much purple. You don't want to lay down the color that is not the one that you want the audience to notice as much as the one that you put over it. So you don't want the bottom color to be too dark. And then we put in the blue. Just feels like it gives it a more lively type of coloring to it to do the double color thing for this. Yeah, thankfully, coloring Doko physically goes a lot quicker than when you're trying to do all the blacks on the computer. It would be easier if I could just do the blacks on the page here and have that be what is done, but with how things reflect on the scanner, I always have to go back and recolor the blacks on the computer to get it looking right. Although, Tractors and Tedders did help out the other week with speeding that process up a bit. It's odd to me, because it seems to work sometimes with how he, well, not, he didn't tell me to use the fill bucket like that. It was him talking to me and me thinking about it that made me mess around with it. And sometimes the fill bucket actually does fill it in all the way it feels like, but other times it doesn't. It's very weird, and I always have to go back and look back over everything. But I'm used to that by this point with working on the comic for over 10 years. Preferably, I'd have a team that would do it for me, but I don't have that kind of popularity. And then I also always want to sort of look at things myself, because only I know others can learn how you want things done, but it always feels like I should check just to make sure it's being edited correctly. Alright, and once I get the blues in for Doko, it usually starts to look pretty vibrant on the page. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, I'm just trying to get it to where I can see it and it will be on the camera. Put in the purple. Okay, there we go. Why am I going back over this with purple? That's just going to make it harder to get the blues down. And Doko's just looking at his arm there as it trembles from the buildup of blood coming towards the wound that was made. I'm not sure if he realizes what is going on before it happens and the blood all comes out. Kinda makes me think of a little cut that I got years ago. What was that? Should have probably gone to the doctor for it, but that would have been spending money. It's, can't afford that. Alright, get this before it dries. Once it dries, you can put color down on it more, but it's always better to get it while it's wet if you want it to, like, actually look like it's one color and not one that's been laid over another color. Okay. And then the rest will be black, so that'll all just get covered up. Alright. Let's, there we go. Let's see up here. Over here. Yeah, sitting like this, I can feel the sort of pain areas of the body, but they're not, like, on fire or anything right now. So I can afford to sit and work. There we go. Just get it all purple, get it all done quick, and then zoom back over to the blue. Alright. And blue. Need a bit more blue than that. There we go, that's better. We've been getting a bit more people in the Discord lately. It's always a bit of a surprise to me seeing more people pop up there. And I know Bowyer was putting in last night about that new dinosaur movie that's coming out. I think it's like in Asia, Japan. It's got little T-Rexes and a future world where dinosaurs were brought back, humans died off. It looks nice. Okay, that's good. And, okay, there is color all over Doko's eye that I am going to have to edit out. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't see any color on my hand, so I must have scraped off. But we gotta get Doko's throat down here. Maybe if I do this setup in the future, maybe leave the bottom panels to be done later, so that this purse doesn't, like, get onto the color at all as it's drying. That might be what was dragging stuff around. We are making progress, though. That is what matters. You are getting a behind-the-scenes look to the making of future DVD features on how the comic is made. Okay. I think we need to do the yellows of the goggles. We need to do these bricks over here. So let's get the brush wet, dry it off, grab some brown. Brown, brown, brown. Here we go. Yeah, after the Metroid Let's Plays that I did the other week, that was really fun to do, but I'm not sure now what the next video game I would play would be. Like with everything else, the Metroid ones were just ones I sorta did on the spot, and now I don't really have anything planned for the video game front for the channel. Yeah, as you can see, the bricks here are colored darker than the tiles for the arena floor. It's the same color, it's just that the tiles have white that has been put over them to help differentiate them. Okay, let's see here. Okay. There we go, I think. And did this... Okay, it hasn't messed up the color down there. So... let's... get the yellow. The yellow for the goggles. And what I do is I take the orange and I put orange down first, because the normal yellow for, like, the watercolors is really hard to see. So, whenever I do the color for the yellow, it's always, like, mixed in with orange to make it darker, make it stand out more. Okay, and then he has yellow for the soles of his boots. They're not really shoes, because, like, his outfit is just one suit. Like, you've seen it, like, you see him in the previous comic take off the top part. It can, like, split at the, at that belt area down there. But it acts as just like a whole bodysuit, so there's not like any real shoe pieces. It's basically his pants. It's just that it has what would be considered shoe parts built into it, like with Stacy's outfit. I love the Torvus Bog music. I used to listen to, like, Metroid music for hours while I drew. It's so peaceful. And I just realized I missed coloring Doko's thumb there. Alright, let's get that. While we're here, we might as well. There we go. Making a little pit stop on the digit. The opposable digit of the hand. I guess they all would be opposable, it's just the opposable thumb. Whenever I say, like, how many fingers there are, I usually go 3 fingers, because in my... I mean 4 fingers, because in my head, I always remember that the thumb is technically not a finger. Alright. Oh, right. We have to lay over, like, yellow on top of this, so that it's like the glowing energy effect on his hand. Well, we'll get to that when we come to it. Right now, we're just getting the color of his outfit, another yellow area, and then the goggles. Well, if nothing else, those Metroid Let's Plays will be good for if I ever make videos of my Let's Plays, like actual in the video section of the YouTube channel videos. The Fusion Let's Play did get quite a bit more views than I was thinking it would. It was kind of nice to see. Okay. Just checking to see if things down here are getting smeared at all. And they seem to be alright. Yeah, well, we don't have much yellow to do here, so I'm not gonna bother to, like, go get more orange to put in. Let's see, can we... Yeah, we still got enough yellow that's working off of the previous yellow up here to lay down. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of panels in this one that are just kinda just actions that are being taken. There's, like, not much in the way of verbal interaction. Alright, now we're back at the bottom again. Just testing to see if the color is dried up enough for me to, like, actually put my hand down on the page while I work. I have wanted to do Frogger sometimes for a Let's Play, but with how hard, like, how difficult that PS1 PC game of it can be if you haven't, like, got it mapped out in your head. I feel like that would just turn into me playing the game forever and it never ending. I think I was the only one that, like, saw the final levels of that game back in school. Because we had it on the school computer. It's just no one could get that far in it. Okay, a bit more yellow. Yellow! There. And here. Party Crashers did a... Well, not Party Crashers. On their individual channels, they did a pretty fun video yesterday where they were all in, like, a Super Mario 64 type of competition with each other and their fans. That was real fun to see. And of course, Brent was the only one that was, like, succeeding at anything. Vernius and Sophist and Nick all kept dying. Let's Plays. Let's Plays are some of the funnest things on YouTube to me. Always have been, ever since, like, Cloud8745 back in 2006 or 7. I think I've shown the first YouTube video I ever saw on here. It's a music video that someone did way back in, like, 2005, I think, of Metroid Prime 2 set to Disturbed Prayer. It's not exactly the most, like, best music video. Like, the music videos I make on my channel are better than it, but it is nostalgic, and it always has just an air from that era of people just making videos simply to make videos. Okay, and now we get to the now severely messed up Doko face that's gotten all scritchy scratched with color. Let's see, what all is there to color after this? It's too much orange, I think. Yeah, that was way too much orange. I'm testing it out on the side of the page over here. Okay. Think this'll do. I'm going to leave the background for this panel for, like, the last thing that I color. Because I do not want that, like, getting smeared and everything once I get everything done. Yeah, that's too much orange. Too much orange. Okay. That'll do. And I guess orange, yeah, because he does have that on the collar. And now we go in with the yellow. Yellow! Bayado. Yeah, I figure I'm not going to probably get all of this all done on screen. Because I figure it'll last until either it stops recording on its own, because that has happened here before when I've done these live streaming segments, or It'll just be when I get too exhausted or need to go make something to eat or something. Okay, let's see here. I got all of that. I need to get... Let's get the little crack in the floor tile here. Just make it a bit darker of a brown. Yeah, that makes it look like it's caved in a bit. There we go. That's good. Okay. Get this out of the way. Alright. Okay. So, we got all that. We need to do red for the earpieces of the goggles. We need to give Doko blue eyes down here since it's like showing his actual eye color. Yeah, we'll do the red for like the earpieces and the blood. As there is a bit of blood to do on this one. Yeah, it's not the most bloody comic ever, but it does have it at times. So let's see here. Oh, right. He has blood coming down from his mouth. And blood right here. Just dripping off of the claw's claw. This is just sort of an indication that something actually got hit during this little flurry of swipes. Because it's like, it goes by so quick that it might not be evident to the audience unless they're paying attention to it. But this is more to show that, yeah, there was something that got hit here, which will maybe make the reader go back and take a look at this previous panel, if it's not obvious enough. Okay. Yeah, when I'm making these pages, I don't do the normal pages in color, so I'm used to it being in black and white. But making these ones, the colored pages, it does, like, it sometimes surprises me because I'm not, like, expecting things to be as apparent as they are, because I am used to doing it in black and white. And when I'm doing, like, normally I don't, like, lay out a sort of script or anything before making the comics, but for this one, I have been doing that, and just when I do that, I just sort of visualize it in my head. I don't really have the picture in front of me during the initial phase to even, like, get a grasp at how exactly it looks. Alright, there we go. The little bloody mouth. Yeah, there are always people telling me about how I draw and stuff and how it's like old cartoons, and I think some of them get the impression that it's like all like kiddie stuff, but there is very obviously not that in a lot of stuff that I make. It's just my art style is all. This is certainly not kiddie right here. Yeah. I've said it before, but how I would do it if this was a show is I would have a censored version that would air during the daytime for, like, kids to watch, and then at night it would air the uncensored version for, like, an adult audience. Yeah, that is just a ton of blood. I guess it's kind of fitting. It's the final match, and the previous comic's final match ended with quite a bit of blood also. the hawker got pretty messed up during that. Yeah, that all just comes right out of him. He's just left screaming in pain. Every hero needs their trials. Alright, I think I got all the blood on the page. Got that, got that. If there... I don't think I can I may be able to fit blood down there, but I'm not going to, because I don't want it to, like, get all messed up and scraped up in that image. So let me just check what else I need. Okay, I got all that. Got all that. Oh, the curtain back here. Yeah, this is, like, the area that the medics take you into if you, like, get hurt too much. It's where the healing pods that you see at the start of the comic are at. I have that area sort of laid out in a reference sheet, but I don't think I've put that up on the DeviantArt gallery. Okay, and this here, I'm going to have to water in some color, as I always give sort of a bluish-purple shading to the walls of the arena. So, put in some water. It's sort of shaded like how the sky has a color put into it. But obviously it's not like as directionless, because it is a solid object as opposed to just oxygen in the atmosphere and stuff. So, water it up. Then, yeah, just put in the shading here. There we go. There we go. Do that. Okay, and then what we will do, we will grab this and sort of bleed it out into the wall, just to get it looking like we don't have just paint splattered on it. Doko's just still standing facing that direction that the claw used to be at. Yeah, in these fight scenes, the actions are sometimes going by so quick that it's like, it doesn't really, it doesn't go, like, as slow as you might be led to believe if you were just looking at the, panels without seeing, like, paying attention to things in the background and seeing how characters are still fixed on one area. Okay, I maybe get this a bit like that. Okay, I think that should do. And then I guess, yeah, we should put some color in back here for just to have color with Doko. So we will put some shading in for the wall of the arena back here. Yeah, I'd like to be getting these pages done quicker. It's just with everything going on with doing commissions right now and looking for work and all that. It's eating up a bit more of the time. Then there are times where I want to do Let's Plays, but it's not, then if I do that, I feel like I'm not getting as much stuff done as I should be in other areas. It's always a constant balancing act, just life in general. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. And then I probably... maybe some more of this. That's too much. That's gonna be an error. We got it out of there. That's fine. That's okay. We'll leave that like that. Don't mess up a decent thing. Really don't like how much editing I'm gonna have to be doing on this picture here. What I should do before I get to that panel... Actually... Okay, focus. Just... I'm going to work on these words up here. So what I want to do, pick the color, and I'm thinking orange-yellow for these words. Orange-yellow. And this is Doko's hair, so it doesn't matter if I get color into that. Okay. Color orange. Alright. And then, I'll color that word darker, because it's like the panel where the claw is actually hitting Doko and making a strike against him. So let's put in the yellow here. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Ding. Yellow is the color that I go through the fastest. It just... the stuff that requires it in my comic just eats it up. Okay, and then this one... maybe red mixed with yellow for that word. It feels like that's what'll get it looking right. Just slightly darker than the orange-ish yellow up above. Unless I'm putting the red down too lightly, and then it'll just end up looking like a light orange, but we'll see how it turns out. Just want something to differentiate it for the panel where the actual strike is made, to help the reader realize better that something different is happening in this panel. Just a bit more red. And then the yellow. Yeah, the other day, actually, was it yesterday? Yeah, Shadow the cartoonist, and... no, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before that. Yeah, that looks fine. It's darker than the ones up there. Alright, that'll work. Okay, and then there's words down here. Tremble is just... well, we should probably do the same coloring for this. Tremble's just a word that I'm going to write in with the ink pen. but we should do red yellow for these words to have it be the same type of coloring as the one where the blood first appeared. Give it sort of a subtle connection. The fagoosh sound effect. Yeah, the other day, a few of us in the Discord were watching the first episode of Keep Your Hands Off Isokin, which was a pretty fun little get-together. It's always nice to interact with the community. And that is one of my favorite animes ever created. I believe the team that did that is, who are they? Is it Saint Sayu? Well, whoever it is, I think they're the ones working on the new Scott Pilgrim anime, if I remember correctly. It may not be them, but I'm pretty sure it's them. Okay, we got that. Yeah, this page is looking alright. And this is just how all of this goes when you don't see the stuff that I make of the comic pages on screen. Oh, we missed a little tile back there. We'll have to get that. For right now, though, we want to put in some color for the background here. So wet it down. There we go. Then we'll put in the shading color. Alright. There is a show that I need to look up that that one of the people in the building was telling me they were wanting me to see if I could make something for them. It's the show I think their kid likes called Egg and Danger. The kid likes chickens, and there's a chicken in it, so I think they want me to make the chicken in that show. Alright, that's enough blue. Let's drag that out. I could probably make the tournament arena area in my sleep at this point with how often I've done it the last two comics now. Yeah, that'll work. I guess maybe some color for background here. Oh, but wait. Gotta be careful. The color down on the word is probably still wet, so... Oh, and there's color for the blood that's still wet. I was a fool. I should not have done this. This is what happens when you, try to start working around things that are not finished drying when it comes to watercolors. You gotta be careful. It is okay, though. The blood, like, bleeding out onto the page is not the worst thing in the world. We also saw this very bizarre anime called Kill Me Baby, which was... It's a very, very weird anime about these three, I think, middle school girls that one's like a ninja. It's a very weird and kind of dumb anime, but it was fun to see. Yeah, I think this'll do. Okay. I got all that colored. So, what I want to do... Well, now I can work solely on this image down here, and I don't have to keep going back up and smearing it. So let's focus on this. Get the earpiece colored in with the red. Alright, that... I guess I don't... Oh, wait, I can put more red in down here for the blood coming down his mouth. Then I wanted to put a speck of blood there. Though I should probably save that for after I put the background in, so... Let's just get rid of this. There we go. That makes it easier to work with. Oh, right, we, gotta color Doko's pupils here. Yeah, his pupils are blue. Since his outfit is blue, it kind of just goes with it. And, likewise, Stacy's eyes are orange, which goes with her outfit. There could be, like, a reason for that, I guess, but really it's just what works with the character design. It's like, you're not going to give a character that has, like, just, green and red, you're not going to give them, like, blue eyes and have the rest of it just be all green and red. I mean, you can. It won't look as appealing, I don't think. Unless you're going the Takua route of having, like, just a rainbow of colors on a character to make them look weird. Let's get the tongue colored in here. Yeah, with how detailed, how close up the face is, and how expressive it is, this is one of the images where I give Doko the segmented teeth instead of just a big block with no lines on it for teeth. Now let's see here. I want the color... It needs to... It's going to be red along the edges, I think. So... This'll be one where we wet it. Where we wet it along where we want the color. So it'll be... It's so hard to get the bottom panels on screen and work on them at the same time. Okay. Then over here. And then we take red and just let that bleed across. It's getting a bit too dry up top. Alright, have that bleed there. And I guess maybe we'll do a yellow on the inside areas. Yeah, it's not bleeding. There we go. Smearing it a bit. That'll work. Yeah, this gives sort of a alarmed, yelling effect. And then I'll probably make, well, it might be a bit too crowded for me to do the yelling lines, but sometimes I would put in, like, all these lines that would go towards the character to, like, draw the attention to them. That'll work. Then let's go up here, just put in a tiny bit more color there, maybe a bit more with just the red. Okay. And then I guess we'll make the color of the word be the color of those. Let's get a different music track playing. I don't know if anyone can hear the music that I am playing, but I need music to really be able to stay stable here. Okay. And let's, right, it was red and yellow. So I guess that goes along with the background. Red and yellow for the words. Now we have the thing the audience probably can hear, which is the Talon Overworld theme of Metroid Prime 1 playing. I'll raise it up a bit. It's a bit of a low beat anyway, so it's not really expected to be heard. Edward is working on his comic. Oh, apparently it disconnected, but we might still be live. If we're not, then I hope I have no one to talk to, but I guess I hope you enjoyed, but I think we're still going. I can check in a minute. I just need to get this word done, and then I think I'm done with the, like, painting portion. All that you do after this is the inking, and then comes the ever so fun digital portion of the comic making process, of my comic making process. There is no rule book, I don't think, on how to do a comic. If there is, it is subject to change with how various people have done things over the years. But yeah, I think this is the coloring all done. Maybe we'll, let's see here. Maybe we'll make this a bit lighter so the speed lines can read against it more. Yeah, that's better. Let's just dab that up. Put a bit more color down there. There we go. Okay, and that is how you color a comic page for my things. Alright, let me see here. Wait. Okay, good. I was just checking to make sure things weren't getting smeared on the bottom panel. Ow. Grandma, you have very sturdy purse straps. Let me just check something. Okay, it looks like we're still going. Oh yeah, we are. Oh, and hello, Daniel. I am sorry for not seeing your message earlier. Yeah, it does show me messages on here. Let's see. Oh, I messed that up. Okay. I hope you are doing okay, Daniel, assuming you are still here. I assume you are. But let's see. I think things are dried up enough that I can actually start on the inking process. So, let me see here. Get this. This is my little bottle, water bottle cap that I pour my ink into. This is all dried up from last night. This is from when I was working on that Resident Evil picture I put up earlier. Oh, and I guess if anyone is curious, this is the type of ink that I use when I do not use the brush pens. This is what the Copics are. The Copic brush pens are what I normally use to do the black lines and stuff, but this is a dried up one, and they are good afterwards for like, I dip it into the Sumi ink to draw with, and it's just a way to sort of make use of what you have to work with. So let me... Oh, whoa, whoa. It's a bit overflowed right here, so... Okay, there we go. That was just a little ink bubble. So let's... And that should be enough. Got... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do not drop that. Let's set it over here. And I dropped the cap of the Sumi ink. I cannot bend to get that with how this is set up, but that is okay, because I can just put a little thing on top of the ink bottle to keep it all sealed up for now. Okay. You stay like that. You stay like that. Okay. And then here is our ink. There we go. Okay, now my finger is black, so let me get some more paper here to wipe it off. Okay. And then we can, let me see. Is this, this all dried up? Doesn't seem to be trailing anything. I normally wouldn't check like this. It's just that with, my setup here, that's kind of the best way to check. So, let's get to the upper images. And let me see here. Okay, nothing is getting smeared, it doesn't look like. Alright. Okay, and then we can get this out, dip our brush in the Sumi ink, and then we can get to work. Now, when I first start off, the Sumi ink is all built up on the brush. So you want to get it to like a really black area first to work with. Don't want to start out with the lines, or it will just make big splotches. And then once you've worn out the black a bit, then you can go up to do the fast line work. These are speed lines, so gotta be quick and scratchy with them. Can't really afford to linger, or else it'll pool a big splotch on it instead. Okay, there we go. And this is one of the things that I don't feel really translates well to like a computer, is that for this type of stuff, to get it like really working right, you sometimes need to like shift the page around in your hand, because your fingers and hand sort of have programmed themselves, at least to me, to draw certain ways at certain angles. And so, doing it on the computer, you can turn it, but it takes a lot more effort and feels more unnatural. And doing it on the computer always feels like it just doesn't get the same drawing feeling as doing it physically because of that. Makes it come out a lot more. It doesn't, if you're good at it, it'll look good, but it won't feel right sometimes. Yeah, but here it's, yeah, it goes like this. All these lines, I want to shift the page to get it at the right angle to work with. Yeah, just all these slashes that he does. Yeah, for this, it's like there's a bunch of slashes, and they all go behind each other, so there's these broken up lines within the, like, front lines of the slashes. Okay, there we go. Alright. Then... this... Yeah, I do the line work better when it's, like, a really thin strip of ink on it. The best line work is just by pencil, but that's not heavy enough on its own when you're doing the colored pages. If it's just the black and white pages, then it works just fine. But when it's the colored pages, the contrast and brightness on the editing process is different for them. So the, like, pencil does not, the graphite does not turn out black like it's supposed to be on the black and white pages. I think I go over some of the brightness contrast stuff in some of my early streaming videos. Ones I did last year. Oh, see? That line turned out a lot thicker because I just dipped it in ink again to, like, refill it because it was getting dry, so we need to wear it down a bit, get some of the ink off of there onto more black parts of the page where it won't be noticeable. It's kind of a useless effort sometimes to even color in the black parts of the page on these, since I go back over it anyway on the computer. Get this there. Yeah, I'm not going to do the whole inking process on screen. It's nice to see, but I will probably get up to get stuff to eat, and at the same time, it is a lot harder to do the inking on screen than the paint, because I'm, like, having to move the page around to adjust for where I'm drawing. Although you all have seen how I draw before, you should be used to how this goes. Oh, let's get the claw's eyes up here. Yeah, to show his age, I usually put smaller lines underneath his eyes. I think he's like in his 40s or 50s at this point. Oh, hey, Shadow, how are you doing? You, at the park today, or just hanging out at home, or at work? We've just been coloring and inking this page so far. Page 80. Although I guess you have access to seeing the sketch I did of the page earlier. Oh, wow. Congratulations, Shadow. I assume it's somebody that you know. Let's see here. Yeah, here's how the page is looking so far, Shadow. The claw is slashing all over, and, he misses, like, he gets, a little thing, Doko's hair here. He gets the ground here. Then he gets Doko on the arm there. And, he drops to the ground. Doko's still standing there, but once he realizes, he whips around to point his hand at him. But then his hand trembles, and all this blood rockets out of it, and he's just left screaming. And yeah, it's getting into a bit of a more visceral part of the fight here. My neck is, really being weighed down by this setup that I have. It's, I kinda set up the camera, I put it in one of my grandma's old purses, and I have it, like, strapped around my neck to hold it. It's the best I could come up with to, like, record me working on the physical page. Yeah, but that's been the thing so far. Just showing all this. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this. Just, you know how I have things, the way I do things, all sorta caveman-like and everything. Yeah, my mom was suggesting a tripod thing earlier, but, that doesn't really work with, if this was standing up, all the color would be running down it. Either way, though, we're doing some progress. We're getting a bit iffy in some of the lines here, though, with how this has been having to be maneuvered around for me to make the lines work. Yeah, it'd be going better if I didn't have, like, the recording going. Which probably means we will turn this off eventually, but we're here for now. Yeah, I do have all that footage of the Keep Your Hands Off Aizukin watching we did the other day recorded, by the way. Could always use that for making a video at some point. I always try to record things to keep things, just keep things filed away. Make sure there is record of it. Yeah, the Resident Evil picture I did yesterday probably took about 4 or 5 hours to do. I usually don't do as much color as I did in that one these days, because I don't have time to do that, but with the anniversary of Raccoon City, I felt I had to. Don't know if anyone thought that was a commission, but that was just something that I decided to do, just for the occasion. Well, we should probably make the lines a bit curved up here to show that he is swiping, like, from behind instead of just a straight line going through. Alright. Yeah, it's the hardest thing is just making sure things are, like, on screen while I'm doing all this. Well, we got the claw, at least, for this first image. And put in these eyes up here for him. Okay. Yeah, this is probably gonna take a couple of hours to do all of the inking on this. Although we got the painting done a lot quicker than I thought we would. That only took, like, I think an hour and a half or an hour 45 minutes. And I've just been listening to Metroid music, which helps out along with the ambience to get you making progress. No distractions, just constantly moving and working as you listen to the peaceful tunes. It's harder to work when you have, like, lyrics playing, I feel, because then you're focusing more sometimes on the song that's being sung, as opposed to video game music just being background music. I don't really need to fill in all of these audience member shadows, but sometimes I do it anyway just to have a better guide for when I fill them in on the computer. There we go. There we go. Okay, that'll do for that. Get this purse lifted up over the page. Yeah, always have some loose leaf paper back here for, like, cushioning the water that may be going through the sketchbook page when you're putting the color down. If nothing else, the water is going to make the pages behind the page you're working on all warbly and stuff when you work on it later. Oh, right, this is his foot. Kind of want to get some more art books of, like, shows and stuff, but I don't really have the money to spend on that. The ones I always keep an eye out for are, like, the ones of, like, that are on Kickstarter that'll be harder to get in the future if you're not in them when they first come out. Doug TeNapel usually releases books like that now. No way to get them unless you're there at the start. If I were smart, I would ordered 2 copies of each Earthworm Jim book and then sell one of them after. But the main thing for that is, for me, is just to get it for myself so that I have it. Yeah, I guess I'll fill in all these audience members. No sense in not at this point. Not fill them in, just draw the outlines so that there is a proper guide for when I fill them in on the computer. Okay, and actually, I should do the panel lines here since it's not a straight line. How do I want to do... No, I should leave the panel line for later when I do the other panel lines. Panel lines are a bit of a harder thing to decide on sometimes. Because, like, if they're all straight and stuff, then I'll just use the ruler as, like, a straight edge with a marker to, like, do it. But if they're curved and everything, then I need to do it, like, without that. Okay. So I will just focus on the characters for now. So get in the hair. Not filling in the hair, because that's all on the computer. Actually, the thing to focus on is doing the words first. Yeah, the hair's sort of that's just sort of an area that no man's land. You can kind of do anything in that, so it doesn't matter as much since it's going to be a wholly black area. So any mistakes can happen there with, like, no consequence. There we go, a little fuchsia. And let's do the speed line since they're at this part. There we go. Just cut off a bit of Doko's hair there. Yeah, the claw just does, like, a series of slashes that are not really meant to... I guess not, like... He intends for Doko to get hit, but it's, like, an attack that's in the air while he's moving, so it's not something that's guaranteed to hit all that often, but if he does enough, eventually it will likely hit the opponent. Okay. Then the little strand of hair here that's coming off. Then we'll do the eye. Yeah, I'm just doing the eye to, like, get the black ink off so I can do the lines better. That apparently was not enough black ink that came off, so we'll just do a bit more of the hair there. Yeah, Doko's just kind of looking up into the air, not realizing the attack that is going on. Not having enough time to really react to it as the slashes are happening. There we go. Get the nose piece of the goggles. There we go. And let's, I guess, move on to the next panel here. No, I have never seen Sonic 4 Higher. I always saw people talk about it, but I've never actually seen that series. From what I saw, it didn't look the best animation-wise. They added in some nice rain sound effects to the Metroid soundtrack I'm listening to here. Actually, oh, it's getting towards the end of that music, so I should probably change it. Oh. No, not that one. We'll go to... Ah, here we go. This is either Meridia or the red soil area of Brinstar, but I clicked on the submerged Torvus bog. Yeah, Metroid Prime games had a lot of remixes in them of previous games, but they were always very magical sounding remixes with how they did the ambiance in them. Oh, right. Have the slashing lines coming through here. There we go. Then it kicks some of the dirt up into the air from the slashing. Got a little indentations to the soil. Then it kinda tapers off in that crack there. Alright, there we go, there we go. probably stuff I'll have to work on after the stream is done to make it more apparent. Okay. And then just make this whole part here black. There we go. That should work. Dun, dun. Anything we need to do after can be sorted through in editing, which I will probably have to do quite a bit of. It's how it usually goes when I'm doing all this. There's so much that goes into the editing process that is not shown on streams. Oh, and since this is like dirt, what I need to do is like make it actually look like... What I need to do is get the... there. Get all these lines in here to show the ground beneath the tiles. Yeah, for dirt, I usually just do these horizontal type of lines that are somewhat jaggedy. That gives sort of a texture of sort of touched upon ground. It's been shifted over time. Just sort of like farm soil. Yeah, put a rock or two in here or there to spice up the textures. Yeah, that should do. And then maybe some lines on the sole of the boot there to give some texture to the object. Of course, can't forget to do the lines on the tiles. Give them their 3D angles and everything. Then comes the tricky part, where don't want to put the lines too close to, like, the speed lines. Otherwise, the speed lines are gonna get lost in the texture. But you still want to put enough to show that there is stuff behind the speed lines. Okay, I think we're doing all right on that. Ugh. Yeah, it is rather exhausting a lot of days just sitting here working on the comic pages. Very draining. But it's what you gotta do to get it done. We didn't get the... Here we go. Yeah, I started working on things apart from this, and that sort of got left behind. Now let's put a couple of small lines there for texture. There's a lot of texture that goes on to the objects in my comics, just to make it so that it looks more interesting to look at. Less textured stuff looks just kind of plain and boring by comparison. Okay. Yeah, this is too much ink. Get some of it off. There we go. That's good. And then, last but not least, we do the words since they're on the right in this panel. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, down. Underwater music is usually pretty nice for doodling. This puts you at ease. Unless it's meant to be like a scary underwater track, then not so much, but just normal underwater video game music where nothing's happening is usually pretty decent to be working to. Let's give this some texture. Maybe a crack here on this tile. Okay, I think that'll do. Ooh. Ow. Only got one more panel to go on this top one. Yeah, I think I'm going to just do this last one here, and then I'll get off to go do some other things and get this off my neck. I do hope everyone that has stopped by, though, has enjoyed this. It's been nice to show the physical portion of working on things. Don't normally get to do that. Probably would if I had the means to do a better setup for the live, like, physical stuff, but yeah, I'm not the most experienced in that kind of video making. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, doing hands is, I know a lot of people have problems with doing hands. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I've never had too much problem, I don't think, with doing hands. They're just kinda a ball with digits coming off of them. Four coming off the top, and then one coming off midway down that goes side to angle. Okay. This might be a bit too much ink to be doing the words, but we're going to chance it. Yeah, it's probably a bit way too much ink. Let's decrease that a bit. There we go. That's better. Yeah, this is what the audience tunes in for, Ed just humming along to music while he works. Such riveting adventures they go on. Watching through feudal Japan, fighting giant robots, and then coming back to see the toilings, hours and hours worth for a comic. Oh, you can't say you don't get variety in the stuff that I make. Alright, we got that. And then we'll do this. the slashing speed lines. And this one actually hits Doko and brings the blood up out of his arm. No. Yeah, I can't talk as much during some of the drawing process because it's like it will break concentration to keep on yammering while this is going on. Maybe connect that line. Okay. Go over here, get some more ink. There we go. Yeah, Sumi ink is just the type of ink that I've always used to ink with, ever since I was doing it with like a paintbrush. Once I discovered like the Copic brush pens, that's how I started doing the main inking. But oh, we got a commercial interrupting our music. Okay, and commercial is gone. But yeah, the brush pens are how I typically do the inking. It gives a lot more control. Alright, there we go. That's clear enough that the blood is coming out, I think. It's not supposed to be something that the audience automatically picks up on, but if they catch it, it makes things make more sense, and if they don't, then the stuff below will likely make them look back up and realize that, oh, that's carrying on from that. I am getting hungry. Yeah, whenever you have the speed lines, if you have things behind it, you always make it be broken up into smaller lines between the speed lines so that you can still tell that it's like there's lines in front of it. But if you make it just be like one object, like make that just a ring, you can still tell there's speed lines, but it's not as apparent, I don't think. It also depends on how the scene is playing out. It works differently for different circumstances. But how I usually do it is the speed lines, like, break up the images behind it. Okay, there we go. Get the collar piece, and then the vest. There we go. And that, for now, is all I think I'm gonna be doing on stream, because all this drawing stuff, on top of me just wanting to stop for the moment, because, oh my god, this is really, really, like, dragging into my neck to hold all this up. Other than that, it is more difficult to make as good of drawings while I'm recording. So, I will be getting off here. Okay, let me just see. But I guess before I go, for anyone that sticks around for the entirety of the video, we'll just give one last look at everything. There's the claw, having jumped into the air, is making all these slashes. Fish, kish, and then and that's the one where he nicks Doko. Drops to the ground. Doko's still standing there. Then he whips around and aims at the claw, but then tremble and all the blood comes out and he's just ah, and just in pain and screaming. But yeah, that's a little preview for how the page will look. Ugh. I will be very happy to get this setup off my neck. But I hope everyone that tuned in had a good time watching all of this get worked on. And I hope you all have a good day. Until I see you again, I guess farewell for now, and I will see you all later.